feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I drive a faster car. Lay my troubles to rest. Blow the smoke through my cigarette. City lights looking fine, and I know this is my time now. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, no, nothing can break me. I wanna drive a faster car. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna.
Hi and good morning to today's stream. In today's video, I'm going to be going through maintaining your website and the 5 reasons why I think it's important that you actually get these done. And especially if you're using a WordPress website. So this is what we're going to be discussing in today's video. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Jason Kruger and I help heart-centered businesses build and automate their online marketing system. Now, as I've said, today I wanted to go through maintaining your website and the reasons why this might be important. Now, unfortunately, and I've dealt with plenty client sites in the past and in the present, and it does astound me when I log into a website and it hasn't been updated in quite some time. And this can cause issues. Now, some of these issues can be security, so your site might be hackable, or maybe it's got some malware on there already, and I've had to deal with those recently for some clients. It might be running slowly. It might never have been backed up. You know, these are things that are quite critical for your website, especially if you're relying on your website for your business. And this is the case if you're running an e-commerce website or you're driving a lot of traffic to your website to read your blogs and potentially signing up to services and buying products off there. So there's a lot of stuff that you need to look at, and it's something that is forgotten a lot of the time. Now, you know, people say, well, you know, we don't want to use WordPress because it gets hacked and all that all the time. Yes, that may be the case, but a lot of the times it's because these sites haven't been maintained. And, you know, the last time I checked, there's like 35% of all websites now on the internet are run by WordPress websites. So, you know, it's a very popular platform. You know, I could say the same thing regarding your PC. Now, are you a Mac user or a Windows user? Well, if you're using Windows, don't you get hacked all the time? You know, it's the same question. Windows has been kind of the mainstay for everyone for so long that the footprint of the PC running Windows is massive, which makes it easier for you know, hackers and you know, virus creators, malware creators, you know, create things for Windows because it's so prevalent. There's so many Windows machines out there, and it's the same thing that goes for WordPress. It's now got such a massive footprint that it's making it easier for hackers and these malware creators, etc., to create you know, all these viruses, etc., for the platform. And you make it easier if you don't maintain your website, and it's the same thing with your PC. If you know, not updating it you get those with the Windows updates that take ages to install. They're doing it for a reason, and that's to secure your operating system, your PC, and the same goes for WordPress. So the main reason to secure, to run the updates for your website and maintaining it is for security. Especially if you've got a lot of plugins and that's on there. The main reason that you want to maintain it is for the security of your website. If you don't do that, there might be a security vulnerability, and these hackers and all that will exploit those. So security is the main reason why you will want to maintain your website. Now, when I say maintain, what do I actually mean by it? It means making sure that you are running the latest version of WordPress. Without that, that's the core part of what your system is running on. If you're running themes, these themes need to be updated as well. They're constantly checking to make sure that there aren't any security vulnerabilities, but they're also going to be updating it to add new features, add new technology. The web constantly is evolving, and there's going to always be some new technologies out there to help with the user experience. So they're adding these things into their theme, so you want to update it to make sure that you're using the latest versions. Same thing goes with plugins. There's so many different plugins out there, and they are great because they do add a lot of functionality to your website. But if you're not updating these, then you are leaving yourself vulnerable to malware or virus attacks. So make sure that you install the latest plugins, and also make sure when you are looking to build your website that you are using themes and plugins from known developers. There are so many different themes and plugins out there, and it's such a great ecosystem. I build all my websites, and that's on WordPress, because if there's some functionality that you want to add to your website, you can always find a plugin to help add that functionality to your website. But you do need to make sure that you are using developers that are always going to be there to make sure that they are updating it for the latest technologies, making sure it is secure. And that's also why I always make sure that I use premium plugins and themes. So I pay license fees every year, because they use that license fee for their time to make sure that they're developing these plugins. There are some really great free plugins out there, and they do then have premium versions of them. But by supporting these developers, you're making sure that they are creating the best software out there. Now, yes, you can make sure that you're running all these updates, but the one key thing that you need to be sure you're doing is backing up your website. The same thing that goes when you're backing up your PC. You want to make sure that you're saving all your critical work. And the same goes for your website. Your website might be critical to your business, so you do want to make sure that you have a backup of that of your site. And depending on how often you are updating it and adding content, etc. to it, you want to make sure that you are getting backups very frequently. I back up mine every day, and that's something that you need to look at. Now, there's different ways of backing up your website. There are so many different plugins out there and services that will back up your website for you. There are some great hosting companies out there that deal just in WordPress. The ones that I recommend is WP Engine and WPX Hosting, and they back up your website every day for you. And you can then also download those if you want a copy on your PC. And their backups are really great backups. You get some hosts that will kind of back it up for you, but it's basically just a backup of your whole hosting service, which sometimes is not the greatest way to go about it. Now, I use these other hosting companies like WP Engine and WPX Hosting myself for my websites and my clients' websites, but I also use premium backup plugins installed on websites so that I know that I am getting a proper backup of the website. And when I mean by a proper backup, I'm getting a database backup, because that's where all the information is stored. I'm also making sure that I have all the files backed up, especially if you're uploading images and documents and all that to the website. You want to make sure that you have all of that backed up. And again, there are many different services out there. I use a service called Manage WP because I also maintain client websites. And this allows me to see a dashboard of all the websites that I maintain, and then I can back up and apply updates, etc. There are others out there as well, like Backup Buddy, Updraft, and there's plenty of others. It's going to be a case of you going out there looking to see which one that you can afford, and looking at the ease of use and making sure that it actually does the backup that you want it to do. The other thing that you want to do when you do your backups is you don't want just to have a local backup. And what I mean by that is, when you are backing up your website, you don't just want the backup to be sitting on the web server next to your website, because if your site gets hacked, most probably that backup could get corrupted as well. You want to make sure that these backups are stored off site. So, if you are doing using these plugins, make sure that it's getting backed up to maybe Dropbox, Google Drive, your FTP server, Amazon S3, and a lot of them have their own offsite storage facilities as well. You can also then just back it up and save it on your PC as well. But make sure that you do have a copy of your website that's not just sitting alongside your normal website. Now, as I said, there are your 5 reasons to maintain your website. That's security, making sure that you have all your updates for your theme, your plugins, making sure that you have an offsite backup. But also, when you're kind of doing this maintenance, you also make sure that it's running smoothly as well. So you can have a look to see if you have if you have any broken links on your website. And but what I mean by broken links is, if you've got links to some content on your website, but that content doesn't exist anymore, have any of those links been updated? Are you linking to them within your content? A lot of this needs to be rectified as well, because again, it's not a great user experience if someone comes to your website, they click on a link and it goes nowhere. The other thing to do is looking at the spam. Now, WordPress is great, and when you're creating blog posts, people can comment on those blog posts, and that helps with traffic and user engagement. But unfortunately, what you're also going to get is going to get a lot of spam comments, and it's going to be a case of going in there and double checking these and then marking them as spam and getting rid of them. Because if these do get approved, it doesn't look very professional if you're starting to get a lot of spam comments on your blog posts and people can see those. Now, again, when you're updating all these plugins and themes, you're ensuring compatibility with the web browsers, etc., as they get developed and add new features. And the same goes with these. You're going to get new features, etc., in your theme, in your plugins, etc. So you want to make sure that you are updating those to get those. So these are those are the kind of 5 reasons and a few extras in there on why you should maintain your site. Now, I hope you found these tips useful, and if you do, please consider subscribing to the channel and clicking on the notification bell so that you get notifications when I next post a video. And typically I do post pre-recorded videos on a Tuesday and a Thursday. So if you've got any other comments regarding maintaining your website, if you've got any other tips, please leave a comment below, and I'll be happy to go through them and maybe even create a new video adding those in. So let me ask you, are you currently maintaining your website? Hopefully these tips will help you. to look into that, because it is critical. As I've said, recently in the last few months, I've had to deal with a few client sites where they've had some malware, installed on the websites before I started maintaining it for them, and it does take time to actually try and get these removed and making sure that the site is secure. And sometimes the reason is because there are old plugins on there that have never been updated, or the licenses for these plugins have expired and they haven't been renewed, so you're not getting the latest updates. So please make sure that you go through your website and consider it a key part of your business. Make sure that you are maintaining it, because it can be a key asset for you. And you want to make sure that it is running smoothly, and if it's an e-commerce website, that it's there, secure, making sure that you're still getting the sales that you want. So as I said, if you like the content of this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting on the notification bell. So I hope that you've enjoyed the few tips in this video, and that you go ahead and apply these to your own website. And if you have any issues doing that, please leave a comment on the video, and I'll make sure that I can help you with those. I do also have the services where I do maintain client websites, so if you're interested, I will leave a link in the description where you can see those services as well. So I hope to see you on the next one.